Lee, did you know a top student from our college was hired by Tencent right now after graduation?
Wow, that's awesome! I want to work for such company as well. After structural reform, Tencent is growing strong. It's promising to work for it. Well, in November 2018, the Tencent Global Partnership Conference was held in Nanjing. Tony Ma focused on industry in internet and added a new business group serving the industry internet.
Industry, what's this? For me, Tencent means QQ and WeChat. QQ's logo penguin has been with me all the time. I played game of stealing vegetables when I was a kid. I browse the moments of my friends using WeChat every day.
Very true. Since the birth of the internet, Tencent has been the best spokesperson in the era of consumer internet. In times of consumer internet, Tencent is a typical B2C enterprise. After transformation, Tencent is serving both the industrial internet and the consumer internet. This is a new model serving business and enterprises, and Tencent takes the advantages and combines B2C and B2B.
I know B2C, but what is B2B? How come the integration of these two produce the effect of 1 + 1 more than 2?
I think we'd better ask the teacher for the answer.
Love life, love e-commerce. Hello students, welcome to the e-commerce class. In this unit, I will introduce B2b E-commerce model. First, let's look at the agenda. In this session, we will discuss the concept, the type, the revenue, and the trend of the B2b e-commerce. What's a B2b e-commerce? Business to business, also called B2B, refers to all the electronic transactions of goods and sales that are conducted between the two companies. This type of e-commerce typically explains the relationship between the producer of the product and the wholesalers or the retailers. However, the same relationship can occur between the service provider and the business organizations. B2b e-commerce is more than 10 times the size of B2C e-commerce, even though the most of public attention has focused on B2C. In general, it's used to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of a company sales. Instead of receiving orders using the human by telephone or email, orders were received digitally, reducing the overhead cost. B2b e-commerce can reduce transaction costs and improve the consumer's satisfaction. Next, let's look at the types of B2b e-commerce. The first type is the seller's market model. In this model, there is only one seller and several buyers. The seller is the center of the market and dominates most of business activities. For example, Haier has built a B2b e-commerce platform by itself. Through this platform, Haier sells its products to the wholesalers or retailers around the world. The second type is the buyer's market model. In this model, there is only one buyer and several sellers. The buyer is the center of the market and dominates most of the business activities. For example, Huawei purchased mobile phone components globally through the B2b e-commerce platform. Garment procurement also belong to this model. In this context, the buyer is the garment. The third type is a trading market model. In this model, there are several sellers and buyers. Neither a buyer or a seller is the center of the market. Buyers and sellers trade through the trading market platform. At the same time, some third-party companies provide service to facilitate the transactions such as authentication, payment, logistics, and so on. Next, we look at the revenue of B2b e-commerce. There are 5 typical sources of B2b revenue. The first one is the membership fee. such as Alibaba's membership fee. The second one is advertising, such as keywords advertising. This is the main sources of revenue for the B2B platform. The third one is the transaction commissions, such as Dunhuang.com, which charges a certain proportion of transaction fee according to the transaction income. The fourth one is offline service, such as training, exhibition. The fifth one is the value-added service, such as online expert advice, Huicong's golden list service, and so on. Next, we will show the development trends of B2b e-commerce. The first trend is the integration of B2B and B2C. The distance between the enterprises and the customer is reduced. The speed and the accuracy of information exchange is improved, and the costs are lower. The second trend is the extension from information service to online transactions. The core of B2b commerce changed from information service to online transactions. The third trend is the transfer from offline payment to online payment, the integration of online and offline channels, the involvement of third-party payment service providers have promoted the transfer from offline transactions to online transactions. The fourth is the vertical subdivision of B2b e-commerce platform, from the big and complete model to the specification and refined model. For example, China Chemical Night, China Cement Night, and so on. So much for this unit. Thanks for listening.